You are listening to Pro Saints Talk, presented by Boot Crew Media. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Boot Crew Media. That is crew with a K.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pro Saints Talk. Jump right into it, man. This isn't going to be the old happy-go-lucky Pro Saints Talk that you used to hear. And I've had some shit going down. I don't know if you've living under a rock. Some stuff going down out in the world that really shaking a lot of people up, and me, a bunch of friends too. I mean, you got some protest here at home, but the whole killing of George Floyd. He's killed by the cops, and shit just got worse, basically. And I'm sitting here with a friend of mine, Fletch. He's a young African-American entrepreneur living in New Orleans, doing his thing. Luckily, he was here when I got here, and I just wanted to sit down and have some type of conversation with him, you know. We got to start somewhere. And I have some type of platform. It may be small, what it is, but I want to use it for what I think is right. And especially doing a Saints podcast and now having Drew Brees weigh in on it. And said some stuff that a lot of people didn't agree with, and I didn't agree with. You know, he states back to the whole kneeling, and you get into the protest and what Colin Kaepernick was talking about years ago. And still when that's brought up, he reverts back. And I'll be honest, it's a selfish, privileged back to saying, you know, I can't agree with anyone who ever kneels during the national anthem. And saying that, I mean, the social awareness, I mean, I saw somebody, just read the fucking room. Read the fucking room, man. And there is, I guess there's a time to say that. I guess, you know, everybody has a right to their opinion, and that's the big thing going around. You know, Drew has his right to his opinion, but with free speech comes consequence.
Right.
And you have to answer to what you say.
Right.
You can't just that's the cost of free speech.
I know a guy who we was talking about this, and that's a black dude, a comedian. I had him in here, and he said even that's one of the worst things about it. When this morning, the way it progressed with Drew Brees was, don't take it back now. Like don't go on the PR thing in the morning and say, right, hey, you know, now you got the picture. Just stand on it. That's how you really felt. You make it even worse when you try to go on this PR thing on the next morning and try to clarify it. Cause
yeah, and I get that, but he's, like I said, like the privilege aspect of this. Like think about Drew Brees, high school Texas state championship quarterback.
Right, Purdue.
Goes to Purdue, breaks records.
Right.
Goes to the NFL, breaks records. This dude's getting police escorts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't see this.
Right. It's not his reality.
It's not his reality, and he doesn't see this. And that's the privilege aspect to it, to where it comes back to, I will say his statement was ignorant. But now I'm not going to...
And just a lack of awareness.
Right.
I mean, that's a major thing. And it's like, are you aware of what people even are going through? You know, you got a lot of players in your locker room right there. You could have asked.
70% of the Saints is African American.
Yeah.
70%. When you work with that many people that are going through something like this, you have to see it.
Yeah.
You have to see it. You can't just go blind to it. And I was talking to some friends the other day, and every single pregame, he gives a speech about going to war with them. When does the war stop for you? Is it just Sundays?
Right.
Like, is that
right,
it? Is it just Sunday? Like, after that, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, that's his job. He's programmed for that. And he doesn't see it. So even for him, probably right now, he's sitting at home and he feels his backlash, and he still doesn't even really understand it.
Well, hopefully, you know, the players.
Crazier part.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the players reaching out to him and talking to him have maybe that apology was genuine. You know, was 100% genuine, and he's just a fucking dummy.
Yeah,
because like
I
mean, look back at Drew Brees. Like, we brought it up a little bit right before we started recording. The diamond thing, he got taken for that. You know, he got taken on money for that. Then he does the commercial for the anti-gay, or they were given to an anti-gay fund, whatever. Yeah. It's like, it's just, I think that we put this dude on a pedestal.
And there's a lot of people like in the black community, in my community, they talk about how, walk-ons closes for Essence Fest and Bayou Classic. So it's like, Drew, if you say this, a lot of your actions become consistent with it. And you're hurting a lot of people that root for you on Sundays. You're hurting just the city that represent you. You're just hurting these people.
But and then it goes back to like, I don't know if this is like a bad term or anything, but a good old boy. Yeah. Like that's what when he comes out and says that, I'll never kneel, or I won't agree with anybody who kneels during the anthem because this country has done so much for my grandfather. He went to war and he came back and it's done everything. It's his grandfather did a lot for him being in the war, and then coming back. But like, man, it was so much different for African Americans coming back from the war.
Yeah, the same people that were in the war.
The same people fighting.
Did not have equal rights.
I mean, they were lynched in their uniforms.
Yeah.
In their fucking uniforms.
Yeah.
They fought for the country, for the freedom that these assholes are walking around doing, and they stringing them up in their fucking uniforms. Oh my God, it's frustrating. And like, I can't fucking imagine what it's like for y'all.
Right.
Because it's so frustrating for me.
Right.
Seeing this, and like people are just so blind to it, and like, I mean, Christ, they're just it's blind patriotism, and what that is,
it really is.
And what that is
you take on this thing with the flag, and it's like we're not even talking about that.
They're not talking about that, and it's blind patriotism, and what blind patriotism is just following the government no matter what.
Right.
Like you go with the government. Oh, they say this is this, blah blah blah. Like they said this happened. Right. This really didn't happen, which brings me to like my next point, and like where people just aren't paying attention. Like, there are like declassified documents by the FBI that tells about the FBI framing and killing people.
Yeah.
Like Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Fred framing Black Panthers,
I mean, they said
Angela Davis was framed, and these things are documented.
Well, yeah.
Framing people and planting drugs in the community. This is documented. So for Drew, he just needs a history lesson or something. Just have awareness. Like you're saying, okay, blind patriotism. When you look at the whole situation of George Floyd, it could have been avoided in a matter of you arrest the 4 officers, you won't have as much chaos with the protests.
Well,
if you just arrested them then when it happened, like what made you do what you did now because of the protest, because of the outrage? If you had just did that before, you arrest 4 people so that you won't have your country, in flames, and thousands of people get arrested for protests versus if you just arrested 4 cops because they kill people. Like they murdered someone. Yeah. They were accessory. The ones who didn't do it was accessory, and the guy with his knee on it, you were the murderer. Like, so that's that. That's I can't murder someone and still have it's on so many levels. So it's police brutality. When you stick to that and you just stick to that, even if you're white, Mexican, whatever, you can say, hey, there's police brutality. It exists. I may have not encountered it, but it does exist. So even if the police, there's police that get caught child pornography, all type of things. Mm-hmm. They don't get, it's not like a doctor where you can get, you're banned, or a lawyer get disbarred. They just go to another parish, get swept under the rug, they get a recommendation to go to another place and just become a cop. Like, that's just, that's more of the lines of what people are protesting. And it is, it's like, I'm black. There's a different aspect. My pullover for a speeding ticket experience is different than someone else's.
I'm glad you said that, because I was about to bring up my 2 worst cop experiences. 2 worst. This is the worst I've ever had, right?
Yeah.
I got pulled over when I was 20 years old. I had half a gram of weed on me.
I went there for that. That was funny.
Wow.
It was some bullshit, whatever the dude told me. Half a gram. He told me, he's like, look, I smell it in the car. I did I got finished smoking the bowl. I smoked the bowl. I'm a bowl guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, But anyway. But so I get pulled over like right after I smoked, right? And dude, I got pulled over for window tint. First of all, I thought it was crazy because my windows were halfway down. It wasn't like I was fucking riding around. You could see me. I wasn't like waving guns and shit in the car, you know? Like I was just riding around, and he pulls me over and he could smell it. And he's like, all right, like I smell it. And I'm like, fuck, whatever. And he goes, if it's a little bit, I'll let you go.
Right.
My dumb ass, 20 years old. I'm like, all right, fine. So I reach up in my headliner, I pull it out. But next thing I know, he's writing an arrest report. I'm 20. I started crying. I did.
Jail's not a fun place. Who wants to sit overnight in jail?
But so, all right, and that was one.
Yeah.
Now, that was tops. That was it. Second worst for me was just because it was so fucking petty. I'm sitting in traffic.
Right.
Well, not traffic, excuse me. I'm in a school zone, and we stopped letting the kids cross, right? And I'm in Harahan. As we stopped.
The worst place to be.
Oh, my God. I live right there, too. It's crazy. So I'm in Harahan, and we stopped. There's a cop in the intersection directing traffic. Yeah. As we stopped, I pull up my phone to change the song on my phone. He comes walking up to me.
Phone in the school zone.
He comes walking up to me. I'm going to need you to pull over using your phone in the school zone.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, I said, word? I was like, for real? And he's like, yeah. The funny part about that one is because when he had me pulled over in the, I just pulled right over in the intersection, he was directing traffic. They almost had like 3 wrecks when he was writing my ticket. So I was like, well, what the fuck we doing out here?
You know what I'm saying? You can cause a bigger problem.
Yeah, you causing more problem, more traffic, more anything. But I mean, yeah, man, I couldn't imagine what it's like being pulled over.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? What the joke is? What's the joke? Driving while black?
Yeah, DWB, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, say the right thing, do the right thing.
I mean, when you got sayings about this shit, you have to believe it's real.
No, 50 states. They had a poll.
It's not one dude.
50 states was like, yeah, we agree, this is wrong. It's police brutality.
Man. But I mean, and to be honest, to get back to a little bit of a serious note, like, I would like to say that, personally, I'm sorry for being naive, thinking that just being nice and treating people fairly was enough.
Yeah.
I thought that's all you had to fucking
do.
That
is it. Right. I don't like that on the internet and stuff right now. This happened with my wife. One of her wife friends, most genuine person I know.
Yeah.
Is texting her, hey, is there anything I can do? One of my wife friends called me. Genuine dude. When I was in Southern, we hung out all the time.
White guy at Southern, that's genuine.
We hung out, and he comes from a family of money, and when he called me. No. He went to LSU. We knew each other because I lived around LSU.
I'm playing.
And I didn't have a car at the time, so we hung out. And he calls me in the morning. My wife's friend texts her, and she's like, I'm sorry. And I could tell where it was coming from because both of them felt like they were being bullied by media.
Yeah.
To like text their black friend. No, it's like if you're a genuine person, and I felt it though. It's like I'm good with y'all that you doing this because it's like. You going to the next end to be like, hey, I support you. I got your back. And it's like, for me, I'm like, I know you have my back. And it's like, bro, don't buy into how the media trying to bully you into saying, hey, I got to do this. I got to do. No, you don't have to do more. Like there's no, coaches might be like, hey, give 110%. It's no more than 100.
Yeah.
You give 100. So
it's physically not possible.
It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? You're giving 100. I'm cool with that. It's not you. It's people like we saying with this Drew Brees incident that are blind. I have a group text where we got some white dudes, 2 Mexican, black dudes, all type of people. Mm-hmm. And there's one friend that's like, he still don't get it. He's going to the flag and this and that. And it's like, nah, bro, it's not that.
Yeah.
But it's good because I think Emmanuel Acho, he was on CBS and he was talking about this morning. He was like, he wasn't mad that Drew Brees said it because you need to have the conversation. So
yeah, weirdly it's been
like,
a conversation starter.
How does it follow up? How does this progress? How does next week and a month from now, if someone can talk to Drew Brees and not just PR, and he can say, hey, I talked to some brothers on my team. I talked to Kamara, Lattimore, and I wanna know, hey, what's going on? I want to talk to you. Like you. Give them a chance to follow up. as a black person, like I don't like the way it's going. And I get, black people in anger. They're mad. This has been going on since Rodney King. We mad. We are mad. But I think it's not that you're just numb to it. It's just that I don't like when it's like turned and turned. And people say, hey, we did the peaceful protest. And I feel that too. I don't like how it just gets turned and turned like to the hate. Now we hate this. We hate him. Yeah, just don't support him. Don't buy the jersey, whatever. And then keep figuring out what can we do positively to find a solution.
Well, I think it was, you're right. But I think it was a little bit harder in this instance because of it being Drew and how, like I said, how the city's got him on a pedestal.
Right.
The higher you are, the harder you fall. And, it's just, and no matter how much he has done, like, it's just those like Freudian slips almost, where the real shit comes out.
But you said it. You said it earlier. It's like, okay, he's in his bubble.
Yeah.
If you're a man at 40 years old now, Drew is, and you play sports for a living, and like your life has never changed.
Uber successful.
Yes.
At
Since
all
a
levels.
kid, he's just played ball. You get to high school, you're playing ball. College, you're playing ball for the scholarship.
Yeah.
Now you're a professional, you're playing ball, you're getting $20 million a year, whatever you're getting from businesses. You living in a bubble. So he never had to have what someone's saying with police brutality or getting pulled over and fearing for his life. He never had that be his reality.
Yeah.
So.
But and then you also got to think, like, where are the shut up and dribble people at? Like, where did they go? When LeBron comes out and he's talking about shit, they're like, shut up and dribble, go play basketball.
Right. It's like, not
whoa,
consistent. Hey, Drew, shut up.
Yeah, like, like,
I didn't think of that.
You're not gonna be like, oh, well, Drew has his own opinion when you were the same person telling LeBron or other people to shut up and dribble.
Man.
Like, it's
that's righteous.
It's crazy to think about. Like, they come out of their hole when they want to, and they really fucking expose themselves.
Yeah.
Jesus, man, Facebook. Just look at Facebook. It's all right there. They letting you know right in front of you. Because
everything's everything is. And I'm a part of it. Hey, I'm in media. We here doing a podcast. Everything is documented. So when you do something, people go back on it and they can look and be like, you said this.
You can't do that shit no more. That's why they're digging up tweets on like Kevin Hart 10 years ago. Like
everyone's message,
everything's up there. Everything, and it's just like you just gotta align with what these people want to believe, and then to be so close-minded, just fucking listen, man.
Yeah.
Just listen a little bit. Jesus, like part of the problem. I don't know if y'all saw that clip. Now, okay, let's get into this. First of all, there's a goddamn words mean shit.
Yeah.
And protesters and looters are completely different people.
Right.
And when I see stuff saying like, oh, riots from the protesters, and it's like, no, man, like where's all the positive shit that they're not showing? That's the protesters. And then even then, did you see the video of the kid on his knees? And just talking, and all of a sudden, a police line open up and they come and arrest him.
Yeah. They just arrest you, or the ones where they're shooting the rubber bullets at them.
Like, why? I don't understand that. But then they got assholes going into the government buildings with AKs strapped to their fucking chest. I know that's an iffy subject because technically, it's legal for them to do. But if you look at the other way, how they're treating the people who aren't even doing that, dude's on his fucking knees. Just pleading with people, just listen to him all this shit. No threat at all. And then you're going to open a line up and then come get him. But then you got, like, those are the protesters. The looters, I'm not going to say that I understand, but disruption gets noticed. Protesters. That's also true. But no, I'm just going to another thing.
Disruption does get noticed.
Disruption gets noticed.
People are angry.
Right. And that's the thing. Disruption gets noticed. And that's why everybody's talking about the Crescent City Connection last night.
Right.
Why were they there? Why were they, why weren't they at City Hall? Why weren't there? Because when you cut off a lifeline over a river, you're going to get fucking noticed. People are going to show up. You're going to get noticed, and people are going to see that. They may not have those eyes on that peaceful protest in front of City Hall. They don't give a shit about that.
Right, that's out of there.
They want to see disruption, and that's basically using the media to these people's advantage. because they're showing that, and they're not doing anything wrong, but they're up on the bridge causing a disruption, which causes people to retaliate to them.
Right.
So it's getting noticed, and that's why I don't fault them for that.
Right.
I can't.
Right, because they're just trying to put eyes on these cases that, you know, is wrongful doing or police brutality. That's all it is. That's what the protest was headed to Jefferson for, because just like Floyd, you got the same incident in Jefferson where
and then you
someone's handcuffed.
And then you got another problem. They had another clip going around. Store owners out in front of their shops trying to fight these rioters off, these looters off.
Yeah.
Cops rolling by, they flag them down. The people flagging them down. Cops turn around, come back. They put the 4 black owners in handcuffs right away while everybody's screaming, no, 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 that way. Reporters, TV reporters with the cameras right there. Immediately detain them. And I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
It's right here again.
They're protecting their business.
They're protecting their business. They were the ones that waved you down. You think they're going to, oh, hey, cops, I'm going to bust this fucking window right. You know, like
waving you down.
They're waving you down, to stop you to come. And the news reporters are screaming, like, no, they're getting away. They're getting away. It's like, let me see your ID and all this. Like, who the fuck cares about ID right now?
It's got to be something deeper, man. So sometimes I figure like the agendas are deeper than we can imagine at times.
You know, I saw a video right before actually I came here, and it's Neil Brennan, the comedian that worked with Chappelle, and he brought up a thing, and he was like, we're all racist. And I was like, wait, how is this gonna go?
It's true.
And then he goes, America is the biggest experiment of a melting pot in the history of the world. Everybody has been isolated from each other up until 500 years ago, 500 years ago.
Right.
So at all times, we're animalistic. You have animalistic tendencies, you know,
right.
Like it's all still here inside of us. It hasn't gone away yet. So when you think about it, everybody has been isolated from each other, and you were just ingrained to think someone that looks different than you was against you.
Just survival, though.
Right,
survival
and that's what it is.
Protecting your territory, they don't look like us. So,
and he said a good point. He was like, if you just notice that in yourself and accept that, it's fixable.
Yeah,
you know, like it's something that you do. Like you're always gonna have that first stupid brain reaction. Yeah, it's just it's there. It's gonna happen. You know, so. But and he made a good point, but it's just just the unrest, and like I said, man, I can't even imagine how like frustrated y'all feel in this situation, because I'm fucking frustrated.
Yeah,
and I don't even know. I don't have half the idea of what the fuck, you know, it's like.
But Drew, he had plenty of references. He could have talked to Lattimore. He could have talked to anybody on his team.
Yeah, back to
Kamara, they right there. Hey,
so
man,
many around you.
How does this affect you? What's going on with it? You know, he could have done this. He could have done his research before you get suckered into some Yahoo interview or whatever.
But when you think about it, dude, like history class. Remember history class in school?
They're not teaching it.
Well, so, they're not teaching the real history.
From the perspective that.
They're not teaching any type. Like they're teaching what they. I don't like to use this phrase too often.
That's part of the problem, though.
Well, right, it is, but I don't like to use this phrase too often because I don't ever want to water it down. But whitewashing.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it is.
So it's how could Drew really notice in his bubble? You know, at some point you got to look at it that way too. I had that perspective, like, okay, he just doesn't understand, and he's not aware, and people are talking about it right now, and that's what people are mad about, but. How would he?
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for Malcolm Jenkins right off the bat,
just saying, hey, I'm just tired, and that's what it is. That's what it is. It's like, yeah, like you said, like for somebody that's black, you got to go into the workplace. My friends work with Sprint. They said they're addressing it by just saying, hey, we're not opening the store till later. We know people got to deal with it, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. You work in retail, you're gonna,
So he's losing money.
Right.
By not going into work, because I'm sure he gets
like,
commission.
Was that correct? Yeah, next commission. It's like, bro, that's not correct. And it's like, bro, I'm still gonna be like, have this feeling, and I could go talk to somebody that's white, and I just feel like different right now because of what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, bro.
So I have a question for both of you. I never played football, but y'all two did, obviously. Y'all are both on the offensive side of the ball, and as a quarterback, I think it's probably the most in all of sports. It's probably
I was about to.
That's the biggest, I would say, position in all of sports. So my point here is, okay, so your leader, your quarterback, mainly your best player, has said these comments.
Yeah.
Now, as a player, is it possible to get over that comment?
Yes. Look, one off comment from a person. Like, look, if I will say this, if there probably is a person who deserves maybe a second chance in this whole thing, it may be Drew Brees.
Right.
Because of what he's done for the city. He has amazing actions. He's done a shitload for the city. I respect him. Like I said, I just think it was ignorant. It was an ignorant thing to say. And he was just, I'm not saying he's an ignorant person. I'm saying he's ignorant in that
he's naive
subject. And he's also naive, right?
So if it wasn't Drew Brees, could you be able to forgive him if you were a player? So say you are Michael Thomas,
well, a teammate's
Emmanuel
different.
Sanders.
I'm sure they will treat it like that.
Yeah, but
like Jimmy Johnson said back then,
the thing is, the team would probably do it, but it would be much harder for like the fans to do it. The team would probably do it because it's just in the locker room, like I said, they go to war, quote unquote, every Sunday together. They do sacrifice a lot for each other. He has done a lot for them. So, and they know the real thing. Like, I mean, fuck, I'm sure I've said some stupid shit. It's going to be hard
right now.
Right.
Like you said on that line for football, okay, if it was a guy who might be a special team player and whatever, number 50 man on the roster, he probably's gone. You just disrupted the whole team chemistry.
Yeah.
But like you saying, you the leader, you the quarterback, it's Drew Brees. They probably going to watch it, let it play out, see how it progress. But on that level, on that tip, I had my cousin said this just now on Instagram, and I was like, damn, that was relatable to me because I'll tell you right now, last year, probably around this time, I bought 2 Drew Brees jerseys. I've coached in Drew Brees League, football league. It probably was an event that was a life-changing event for me. Like, I did that. I started working with Nike. I started doing different things in media. So it was kind of like a spark for me.
Yeah.
So like you said, how it affect the city, I could say firsthand, I'm somebody that may be affected in a good way. But I don't like these comments. I'm mad as hell as a black person that you said it. But on the lines of what you're saying, to be in a football locker room and how there's different personalities. There's a white lineman, black receiver, black DB, whatever. Like that's what it is. Now I'll read it quote for quote what he told me. He said, "You know how many white boys probably racist on any team. Chase, that don't mean that's about to stop my team. That don't mean that's about to stop being my team. Think about this. They say Jordan bad cause he owned prisons, but these N-words still buying J's. I bet they ain't about to burn them retros. Man, I ain't burning none of that. I ain't burning none of the shit I own, and I'm still a Saints fan. Word for word. This is what he told me. Like, this is quotable. You can go on my Instagram and find this, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, that's my part of it. That was my part of George Floyd from a black person's perspective. I don't care if I get shunned from it. It's my perspective. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up after George Floyd knowing, hey, a cop could kill you as a black person. We seen it since Rodney King, and people put up the meme. Michael Vick has done more jail time than all cops who killed someone. So there is something different. Like, you can tell me there's something different. You got Dylan Root kills people. He don't get killed when you go to find him. He got an AK.
Oh, I can't even get on that different. Crazy shit.
But
a mass murderer they bring out in fucking handcuffs. Like, I don't even all of this racial shit aside.
A mass murder. You bring him in handcuffs.
Just kill him.
Kill that motherfucker.
In Burger King, like all the time.
We know
should have walked in with guns drawn. It should have been guns drawn, blood on the floor.
Well, that's the thing. Look back at this.
Come on.
Look back at this. We can bring this all the way back to Fred Hampton just with that. What happened with Fred Hampton was the police went in, said that they had they said 6 to 7 other
FBI Black Panthers
were firing back, and then. And they said the cops shot at least 80 to 100 bullets or something like that. And then the quote was, it was a miracle that any cops got out alive.
Right.
Turns out FBI does an investigation. Everything that they said was false. They said that maybe there was 1 bullet fired from a gun that was in the hand of a man who got shot in his heart. So
it just got cut off when he got shot.
But that's basically the thing. They went into this place and assassinated this man.
Yeah.
They went into this place and assassinated this man and tried to cover it up. And yet you're going to go. And
these are the things that Drew Brees needs to know. See, like, that's not part of America in general. It's like we say riots. Dude, the Boston Tea Party.
First of all,
like you cannot, like you said, it's like people just see it like you say, shut up and dribble. Drew, why you just shut up and dribble? Like, Like that's the point. Like if you this or that, white, black, or Mexican, be consistent. So don't say you mad now, you're not mad when it happened another way. Like just be consistent with who you are. Like that's it. Be transparent and consistent with who you are.
This country is built off of revolution and stolen land.
Disruption, right?
Are you like now all of a sudden we're the best?
Right,
like,
now we worried about looting.
I have gained personally I have probably gained every benefit from this fucking country. Me and my parents. I won the genetic lottery. I'm a white male in America. Yeah. And I mean, I've had every opportunity. Like I said, I don't know the thing. I see a cop, I fucking wave most of the time. Yeah. The fuck? Like, you know, like I couldn't see any of my black friends doing that. Like I couldn't see it. And like I said, growing up, I didn't see any of that. My first experience
people
really.
Make songs about fuck the police. Like one of my partners said it. You don't hear people making songs like fuck the fire department. fuck the doctors. You'll never hear that.
Fuck the fire department.
Come on.
That's fantastic. God, that should kill.
That would actually be a good song. Yeah.
Say that at the Supreme Court. We win.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all win. Everybody wins.
We need justice. We need political reform with the justice system. Like that's.
But it's also crazy that like senators that have been in office for 40 years, they're like, it's time for justice change. I'm like, what the fuck you been doing for 40 years?
You were here.
Now all of a sudden it's time.
You were here.
Yeah, you knew about all this shit.
It's on your rap.
Yeah, like you got reelected multiple times. You should have known by now. Like you should have stumbled upon some shit by now. That you know that this place is a little bit fucked up.
It could have been one bad case. I mean, that's all this. You know, people just gotta direct their anger to things that matter. You know, hey, go to the petitions, go to the things that matter, go to the DA,
vote,
the request, email, vote. Right, and build a leader within your community that you believe in and that you want to represent you. Those are things that you can do for progression.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise we'll be mad because. You know, that's my part of like at first I'm numb as a black male. Like we're gonna talk about this. What we gonna do? We've had Ferguson, we had Trayvon Martin. These things keep happening. It's a common occurrence, and so the reaction's gotta be something that's gonna be, hey, people are getting organized, and there's something that progresses it, so that we don't have to keep worrying about it. Because I think once you get to the point of a cop, there's okay, hey, you acted wrong. And you're going to jail for it, you got to pay for it because you know a cop's not going to be treated well in jail. No, you can't. We're not going to protect you now. Like you, and that's the point. Like you, would you say, what is it? False patriotism?
Blind patriotism.
Blind patriotism. Yeah, like that's a real thing in the world.
It's 100% a real thing. Yeah, no. Like, and then here's an idea. How about when someone dies by the hands or allegedly by the hands of another person? Like everybody else, a cop is detained and arrested. Yeah. And goes through a fucking trial. Yeah. Everybody else got to do it. He's not above the law. He may enforce the law.
He works for us, for the people.
Where the fuck? What happened
to serve? You can't kill the people if you're working for the people.
What happened to protect and serve? What the fuck? That's on all the cars.
Bro, I don't think there should ever be a time when someone dies when they didn't fire one shot at a policeman. Like, no, not even the reaching,
nothing should be a
not even the reaching for the weapon or he reached for his gun, the alleged. Like, no one should die without a shot fired at them. Like, you trained for this. Like,
well, okay, that's
without at least one shot fired at you, and you can really say, "Hey, my life is threatened." Not as like. All of it is like assumption of my life being threatened. Like it's never actually threatened.
Right. But you think about it, man, I will say this, man, cops are undertrained.
Hell yeah.
God, are they undertrained.
They gotta be.
And it brings me back, I saw a sign that a girl made at one of the protests. It made a lot of sense to me. It said, how is it okay for a trained officer to get flustered and do something? But when an untrained civilian does it, it's against the law or something, or a death sentence, basically.
It's justified for them to kill them.
Right, yeah. And it's.
Or even think of how the law. If you're a lawyer, it takes you like 7-8 years.
Yeah, to practice law. To practice law, it takes you got to go to law school. These motherfuckers go to the police academy for 6 weeks or whatever it is.
And sometimes, like my cousin Vinny, when you fail the bar 7 or 8 different times,
you know what I'm saying? Right?
It's not easy to be a lawyer.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just, and then it also comes back to, first of all, there's no right. All right, I'm going to say this, but this is what I mean. There's no right way to protest because you're protesting against something.
You're mad,
there's always an opposition.
I'm mad against the system.
Right, but there's always an opposition to your protest. So there's never a right way. Someone's going to say that your protest is wrong. And that's what it came back. True. You come back, they got everything out there. It's like they told us this wasn't the right way to protest with Martin Luther King walking in Selma, you know, and all this other shit. And then it comes back, they got Cap kneeling down. They told us this wasn't the right way to protest.
But if you go back to, like you say, if a lawmaker, you've been in 40 years, you're in your office. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, we could just start with that. That's one thing could be a solution. If a cop kills somebody, they get detained like everybody else. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through the evidence. We're gonna figure it out. But you getting detained just like anybody else that kills someone. Right. Yeah. Like stop making murders
and the best part is like, they have a fucking camera on their chest. So
we can see it's like an instant replay. Right? Thank you. Like with Louisville, it just recently happened. Like, people died, and all of a sudden, the body cam wasn't on and it wasn't working. We had a malfunction. Yeah, man. No, you did not.
There's a lot of shady shit.
That's it. Like you say, we have a body cam. We can. It'll be quick. Hey, this person pulled out a gun. You shot him. You did right. You know, like there's evidence.
Yeah, man. Especially
40 years. We got lawmakers like the cops enforce this law. So obviously, lawmakers need to make another law that could be a start. Solution based right here. Yeah. On Pro Saints Talk. Like, hey, you kill someone, you going to jail.
You're going to jail no matter what.
They won't kill people as.
I can't take credit for that. I can't take credit for that idea. I did see it somewhere, but
we pushing it.
Let's push it, baby. Let's put it out there. Hopefully somebody's listening. But yeah, it's just. It's fucking crazy, man. You just want people to see. Just listen. It's not hard. Like, look, I'm a stupid person. I'm not a smart. I mean,
you're smart.
No, I'm not smart. I'm clever. There's a difference.
The last 45 minutes, you sounded pretty smart. I'll tell you that
don't pump my head up. But no. But what the fuck what was I saying?
You're not a smart person is what you're saying.
Well, there we go. But I mean, like I said, I am not that smart of a person. But if I see it, I feel like how are people? This ain't
rocket science. It's common sense.
Man, that's the thing. It's supposed to be. Like I said, man, I was naive to think that. That's all it took.
Nobody's saying, Drew, shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble, man. Just shut up and dribble,
shut up. Why are you talking about this? You should be talking about digs and posts.
Yeah, somebody. I don't know. I don't know if I said it already, but
tell us check on Omaha. What does that mean? Like,
but I don't know if I said it. I saw a tweet last night. Dude said, "Man, Drew can read defenses, but not a fucking room."
Read the room. Thanks, Jamie Foxx, for that. That's a great quotable.
Yeah, But like I said, man, I respect Drew. I do. I think that he is just ignorant to this situation. I don't think he's a stupid person. I don't think he really means harm. I just think that he fucked up, and now he's dealing with that, and he needs to. And like I said, it could have been like a little bit of maybe it was a Freudian slip to where, you know, like he really learned something about himself.
Yeah.
And now all these guys, I mean, tell you what, man, the group of guys he's got around him to hopefully talk to him about this is
he got the best. Hey, and they can check him on that shit. Like,
Jenkins,
we men.
These guys,
we're men. Like, even with that said, hey, we men. We have to do a job together. There are people that you work with that you might not like. You may work at a plant, refinery, or something, and there's a guy pulling up to you with a rebel flag on the front of his truck, and you got to work with him. He may be your supervisor.
Yeah,
that's the reality of the world. And if we say in America, for him, his freedom of speech is saying, I don't fuck with it. Like he did draw a sand in the line in a way, saying, hey, this thing that black people, brown people that have a fight against discrimination and police brutality. He's saying he stood on the other side of it, basically, with that statement. So it's like...
Right, and it's just because he wasn't aware of the situation.
Right, it's like, hey, let's see it progress. Let's have people tell him. Let's put him back on the spot. Hey, Drew, have you learned something from this? Have you reached out to somebody that you can have a good reference to and get an understanding of it?
How would you feel if he kneeled the first game? You feel it's a cop-out?
It could, people gonna feel that way. I'm sure they will.
People will definitely probably.
But I wouldn't be mad at it because you're still gonna be mad at him if you don't. So,
Well, you see,
so
I don't
on
think
them
so.
terms, for him, for the devil's advocate, they still gonna be mad at you if you don't.
I guess it depends on
get
how
out
he
and
handles
do
it.
it.
I guess it depends on how he handles it from here to the start of the season.
You gotta do everything you gotta do. We know what you gotta do, man. You gotta donate some big money to something.
Ooh,
we know
somebody
it's
about to get a
coming.
check.
Yeah, you gotta donate some big money to something. Just the way it work.
What did Kobe do to get out of that? Didn't he buy?
Come on, man. Pay like $6 million for the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, God, hey, it is what it is.
70,000 carat
These
ring.
men that's getting like
Just dragging behind Vanessa.
Tiger was
Man, what the-
Tiger was just like, fuck it, you know.
Tiger got his ass whooped with a fucking
my
3-wood.
he paid the price already. Huh? He got physically beat. Yeah,
He got whooped with a 3-wood.
That's assault,
that's
brother.
what he could do, and maybe for him, he can start a round table discussion somewhere or something. He can create a platform and say, "Hey, look, guys, I'm sorry. I genuinely apologize, and I want to be on the same. I want to be on a level playing field with you.
Right.
You know, like."
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm not going to say he can use his platform whatever the fuck he wants. But I feel like, you know, being a good person, I feel like you have to use your platform for what's right.
Yeah.
And even no matter if you disagree with it, like, look, would you have felt better if he said this? I understand why they do it. Next question.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what I was saying at the beginning of this.
Right.
Like, Drew, you couldn't tell this was a trap.
Right. Like,
why? Like, if somebody calling you to talk about this right now, you play football. You're not a political leader.
Right.
You're not an activist in the
Yahoo
protest.
Finance.
Bro,
You almost ruined your career
I
on
wish I
Yahoo
could find
Finance.
it, bro. My friend is a white dude, Zach Goodwin. I swear to God, before Big Floyd, he sent us Yahoo homepage when COVID was dying down, bro. And that's why I say, like, sometimes it's bigger agendas, bro. Before Big Floyd really came up, he sent it to me on Yahoo front page because he checks it before he go to work, and they had 3 out of the 5 out of the first, because I think the Louisville incident was on one of them. I want to find that screenshot. I gotta find it. It is showed 3 of the 5 things were race related.
Really?
Can't make it up, bro. I can't make it up.
Media,
He gonna
man.
hear this, and the guys that we talk to in the group, they're gonna hear this, and they know, they can vouch.
Yeah.
And so it's like, for me, it's like, man, I don't believe in all conspiracies. I just want to hear the theory of it.
Yeah.
Something may be true, something may be not. But like he pointed this out when COVID was dying down, because man, goddamn, he was at the beach for what, Memorial Weekend?
Yeah.
Man, you got friends. I know everybody got friends that's been to Florida in the last 2-3 weeks. Florida's open and people are just, they're going out there like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, if you come out here, you wouldn't even know COVID's going on. And he had sent me a screenshot of Yahoo's front, and it was ironic that Drew Brees was on a Yahoo random Skype call.
Yeah.
I'm like, he showed me Yahoo, 3 out of 5 things, all like race related issues. I'm like, damn. And it's just a matter, hey, big Trump, man. Every time it's a re-election, when he came here, it's like this big division. It's big division.
Yeah.
Like, it's just this big
Well, the problem with
division
him,
of the people, bro. Like,
the problem with him is like, this is when America needs a leader.
and you going high.
Well, okay, so to be fair about that, when the Secret Service says get in the fucking bunker, you get in the
No.
fucking bunker.
Right.
but I'm also I am
out to a church where
oh, don't even get me started on that raggedy son of a bitch.
It's like,
But yeah, so
somebody's
America
got to have common sense.
America needs a leader right now, and this dude wants nothing more than to keep everybody divided so he can get elected again. And that's another fucking frustrating thing that people don't see. This dude holding up a Bible. Somebody said it.
Like he's Hitler.
He was holding up a Bible like he found it on the ground.
Yeah.
And was holding it like, whose is this? Like, whose is this? It's like, I'm not a religious person. I'm not a religious person. But to see that, just to like, and knowing that he's not a Christian of any
Yeah, that's what
way.
I'm just about to say. Like all the
oh my
pastors
God.
say, nah, we do not condone
Well, the
this.
guy, the pastor of the
do
church.
Not, yeah, like, hey, we do not. Nope. We are not. We're
Yeah,
not
but-
vouching for him.
But when we need a leader, man, this dude is not there. So I ain't got much to
Make
say
a
on this
statement
mother.
from the bunker. They got media. If we can do this, they
Oh, well, I was going back to that. I'm not saying now. I know that when the Secret Service says get down there, I'm not saying that he did not want to go. I'm sure he wanted to get the fuck down there.
get out of
But,
Dodge.
I mean, when you turn the lights off and then go down, I mean, that's the first time I think they said that it's ever happened in the history of the White House. They turned the lights off and the president went to the bunker over some fucking protest.
I've never seen him.
Hey, you ever heard of Abe Lincoln? That motherfucker was in the Civil War.
Right.
He never went to the bunker.
He never hid.
They probably didn't have one back then, but you know.
Still, even more. You on the front more. Somebody can walk up to him with a revolver.
Yeah. They got snipers on the roof. Ain't nobody getting on that lawn. But yeah, man. This is just something I wanted to do. I wanted to have a conversation. Like I said, I was going to come in here and rant to myself, but I'm happy that you were here and we were able to do this, man. This worked out
Good time.
great, I think, man. I think we had a pretty good little conversation there. It was all right. I enjoyed it a lot.
Conversation was necessary.
Yeah, bud. Thanks for coming on, man. Going to wrap this up. Not going to talk football this week. I don't fucking feel like it.
Live from the podcast.
Live from we're back in the center. We back in the center, man. Fuck you, COVID. Racism. Yeah.
Fuck racism.
Yeah, fuck racism. Fuck it all.
Discrimination.
Fuck
man.
coleslaw too.
Discrimination is whack.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in. I love you all. And have a good weekend, guys. Goodbye.